What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAC for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. Right now, we are 2-on-2. Shout out to everybody in Houston. Still trying to weather the aftermath of the hurricane. So we may not have Black Peace or our brother Sean Hart Izzo in the building with us, but nonetheless, we are going to hold it down for him and get back to giving y'all some content, man. Throughout this, I guess, dead space of sports, where like it kind of just being not complete dead space, but we still got the WNBA going, and NBA Summer League, and the Olympics gearing up day by day. Um, but yeah, man, what is a podcast without your brethren?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world chiming in. It is I, the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles, and on behalf of me and my team, we just want to say thank you so much for supporting us. If you are someone whose bills are on residual and your money is not on residual, we need to connect. We need to link up. We need to talk. We need to have a serious conversation. I love you, and I'm here for you. Take it away, bro. Let's do this.
All right, man. First up on the board, some of these conversations that we have, I know that they will be great with all four of us being able to be in attendance, being able to land and offer our perspectives to the audience out there listening. Nonetheless, we are going to hold it down with
My turn.
we're definitely going to hold it down. Try to become tag team champions tonight. Um, Probably a great title for the podcast too, for the episode. But yeah, all right. First up on the rundown, question to start us off with: Who has the biggest cult-like following out of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Bronny James? Who do you think has the biggest cult-like following?
I have to give it to Caitlin Clark, with a close second of Angel Reese. And the reason why I say Caitlin Clark more so because the actions that are being taken by the fans, right? These fans were not fans of women's basketball altogether, let alone college. But not only did she, in a way, create this cult-like fan base and then bring them to the pros, she is also good enough for them to speak about her as a savior, right? So pretty much with cults, the leader is the savior. The leader is the god of the cult. The leader is the main antagonist. So in that respect, I have to give it to Caitlin. But in retrospect, why I give Angel Reese a close second is because her fans, she does have a trickle of fans who were not fans of women's basketball, who she also brought over, right? But it wasn't like Caitlin Clark, not to that magnitude, but yet still she did. And she's also good, right? And I believe that, like cult leaders, I feel as though their following, they like just a tad bit confused, right? And just a part of her cult following fan base is a tad bit confused. Like, y'all think that this person is really God. Y'all think this person is really like the one. And in my mind, being a member of the cult fan base Caitlin Clark has, we just believe in different religions. We just have different religions when it comes to that. So for me, it's Caitlin, because if you would have asked who had a bigger fan base, a cult-like fan base between Drake and Kendrick, of course I would go to Drake because I am one a part of that. Right? So, yeah, no. This is where more of a cult-like fan base would be a compliment, and I'm giving that compliment to Caitlyn. Sorry.
How would you rank who has the biggest supporting fan base out of Bronny James, Caitlin Clark, and Reese?
Well, statistically, for me, the viewership, wherever the viewership follows, wherever the clickbait follows, wherever the stream, whomever the streams follow, over a consistent amount of time, that's how I would rank it. I would go off the stats, right? Because then it's irrefutable at that point for me, right? Because if someone were to say to me, "No, what you believe about Caitlin Clark would be false, and you are to believe it about Angel Reese," then I'm gonna say, "Show me the stats."
If I had to rank who has the biggest following, I would say Caitlyn and Bronny James are like 1A, 1B, and then I will put Angel Reese at second. Granted, Angel Reese is, definitely, the Bayou Barbie, the Chi-Town Barbie right now, playing for Chicago Sky, and she's like created a lane for herself, and has also played a nice role in growing the game and bringing more attention and viewership to the game of women's basketball as a whole. So, paying homage and giving her that credit at the second or third spot of the three. The reason I put Bronny James up there with Caitlin Clark is solely because I feel like because of who his father is, he has a grandfather in supporting fan base that wants to see him succeed because of their support of his father for 20 plus years in the NBA. And so I think while Bronny may have his own supporting cast and his own fan base of people who are cheering and rooting him on, I feel like you have to multiply that times 5 to 10 of the supporters of LeBron James. I don't think you can rule that out. Like, I feel like if you're a fan of LeBron by way of family tree, you're a supporter of Bronny James. Now, the two could, be different, but I think LeBron, I think if you're a lifelong supporter of LeBron, I feel like you're naturally, instinctually have that same hope and support for Bronny James. And I think because of that is why I will put him up there in the same class of like fan support with Caitlin Clark. Obviously, that's theory based because we don't have the numbers just yet for Bronny James. And obviously it's not like he's expected to really play and we're gonna see numbers skyrocket, but yeah,
Bro, your description of that just now just made Bronny James sound like Jesus to me. Bro,
because of who your father is.
right when you said that, I was like, really, because we appreciate God for what He does, and so we gotta pray to Jesus too. You know what I'm saying? He sent Jesus for us, and I'm like, yeah, wow, that's strikingly familiar.
There's a resemblance I see.
I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah, you're right about that. And if and from that basis, yeah, I mean, how could you not say Jesus ain't got his own cult? Just off God alone. But yeah, you're right. But I feel as though when it comes to the true fan, though, like the true fanatic who will put their money behind this, will put their pride behind it when they speak about it. It's only so long that you can ride the coattail of your dad, you know. But we'll see how long before you either transition into where you are due and deserving of all of this following and support, or not. So only time will tell.
Yeah, man. Transitioning was not too much of a transition. Staying on Bronny James. It was literally, what was that? Maybe Sunday. I think Sunday. Jaylen Brown was at Summer League. Him and his girl, along with Angel Reese, and somebody had a camera on them courtside. With the camera being on them courtside, Jaylen Brown looks over to his girl and says, "Hey, I don't really think Bronny's a pro." Uh, and his girlfriend was like, you know, maybe he'll be in the, you know, the G League. Paraphrasing, like he'll probably be in the G League or whatever. And Jaylen Brown like, maybe so. I don't really know if the G League is for him, but you know, he'll definitely for sure be on the Lakers because of who his dad is, type deal. Paraphrasing that conversation. Then after that, after that goes out and after that goes out and goes public, that Jaylen Brown tweet. Yeah, so after that gets captured at the summer league game with Jaylen Brown, and obviously it goes viral. It's like, oh, he said Bronny ain't no pro. Later on that day, that night rather, Jaylen Brown he put out he put out the following tweet reading, it's a flex to have your son alongside you in the NBA. It reflects greatness and longevity. Bronny has all the tools around him to be successful. I look forward to watching his growth. Um, this is after he's captured saying, "Oh, I don't think Bronny is a pro."
Right.
So that's his opinion. Some people think give Bronny time. Some people think get him out of the league. He doesn't belong here. But with those statements, not necessarily the tweet after the fact, but him just expressing that, which he would have thought would have been just between him and who he was talking to courtside. With that comment, do you got to be more careful? Do you believe Jaylen Brown is hating with those comments?
Of course. Of course. I don't care. For me, Edward, your opinion on another man behind closed doors, to me, is approved because I feel like that's impossible. Right? Your opinion about another man publicly, always 10 out of 10 for me is going to be hate. 10 out of 10. I don't care. I'm sorry. Got to be more careful. Should have been caught slipping. I understand that it happens where, man, I was speaking to my woman in confidence. It was like, bro, how long have you been a celebrity? Like, stop it. Calm down. Cut it out. You know, the cameras is always on. Somebody's always watching, bro. And you said what you really meant. And when the publicity went bad for you because you look like a hater, you want to tweet, right? No, we saw words come out of your mouth, but the way you hold yourself accountable for the words that came out of your mouth is that you go and tweet. I'm not gonna say that that's be sheesh, but that's kind of what the women do. That's all I'm gonna say. So for me, yes, automatic hating. I'm sorry, bro. It is what it is. If it was me, you know, I would come out and say, hey, I got caught hating. I really need to stop drinking it. Because sometimes I get drunk on the haterade sometimes, but I don't drink haterade. So I'm always gonna look for the goodness in any situation. I'm not going to be caught saying, I don't think Bronny is a pro. I'm going to be caught saying the ways that Bronny could be a better professional. Always. I'm never going to get caught. It may be perceived as me hating and talking down, but it's just me providing constructive criticism as a fellow pro and actually wanting to see the growth that I say that I want to see. Because that's how you prove it. Now I hate, and then all of a sudden you want to see the growth. Now I'm totally good on you.
Is there a balance? Is there like a fine line between your opinion and not hating? Like, does it have to be
telling telling that person to their face what you think of them? That's the fine line.
Telling that person what you think of them to their face, that would be ruled as hating or not hating?
No, that's where it's discerned, because you never get caught saying something to someone about someone else that you wouldn't say to the person that you are saying this about. Right? And when you get caught doing that and then double back with the, oh no, I just want to see your growth, bro, that just kind of further confirms you were hating. Bro, you should have stood on that. You should have stood on that and then said, hey, the conversation was out of context. The videographer caught the wrong part. This is what was actually said. Yes, I did say that, but this was the context, not the context that y'all seen from a little clip or snippet. Whatever the case may be. Stand on that, bro. Stand on what you said. And Jaylen Brown, you just look like what everybody in the NBA already think that you are, but it's all good because you're a smart, intellectual Black man and you're doing great things, and you know what I'm saying? You living the dream. That's fine. Who cares? Who cares what your real personality is? You just play basketball to win championship.
So it is hating. It is hating from your point of view. It is hating to believe that Bronny isn't a pro.
No. It's hating to voice it and you get caught voicing it publicly.
Okay.
And you don't voice it publicly to the person it is about. That's when you're slipping into the little haterade. You're slipping into a pool of haterade. You should be careful. Watch your step. And it sucks. I know, because I do feel like that is a valid opinion of his. I do feel as though he ain't far-fetched with what he said. It's just not what you do. It's like, it's how you be doing it sometimes. You know what I mean? That ain't, you could have called, you can't, you know you can't call LeBron, right? How do we know now? How do we know that you don't feel a way about Bronny getting all this clout off his daddy, and these are your emotions? How are we supposed to discern between you really hating or you really just providing constructive criticism to your girl about another nigga? It would make more sense if they were good friends, or if they like knew each other, if they kicked it, if they was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would make more sense because that's your man's. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep them in line. Yeah. Say how you feel. Bro, you don't know this man. You don't know this man. You don't know this man. Cameron said it best. Niggas need to stop being mad because they daddy ain't did shit for them.
And here's the thing, too, to that point, bro. If you are a parent and you feel some type of way about what you feel some type of way about what LeBron has been able to do for his son, if you feel some type of way about that, and you yourself has never put forth the work, the discipline, the longevity into whatever you got going on to create a easy path, or even to have the option of nepotism for your own child, bro, shame on you, bro. Like what LeBron has been able to do for Bronny, like, I respect it on an
Yeah,
immense level of just like not. This isn't a matter of like LeBron being great. This is a matter of like LeBron, one saying he has the God gifted ability, but he not just leaning on that, but having the discipline and the work ethic for 20 plus years to be able to put his children in a position. When we talk about, making these types of sacrifices or making the necessary, moves and decisions to have generational wealth and so on and so forth. Like LeBron isn't necessarily putting money in his son's pocket to be like, hey, I'm nearly almost a billionaire, son. He go, a couple million. What you want to do? Like, no, he has been able to create an opportunity for his child to carve out his own lane, in the NBA through his career field. And if you can't respect it or you feel some type of way about that, and you yourself aren't even able to do that for your own child, that's just gross. That's just
this
gross.
This
Gross.
white guy put this video up, and I sometimes I'd be wishing I knew some of these people who make some of these videos just so I can just have an intellectual conversation to help provide what it is that they are missing. But he spoke about how Black people have complained about America passing down these inheritances within companies, assets, whatever the case may be, in all of these different industries, right? So let's say in the oil industry, in the music industry, in the media industry, Black people would never be able to run those industries. And so he says, how come y'all hate it when we have been doing it for years, but you celebrate it when LeBron gets, because y'all still get mad at us when we hire our sons and daughters out of college who don't have no experience just because they're our sons and daughters. How could y'all now celebrate the fact that Bronny is clearly not ready for the pros, and just because of who his dad is, he's now in the league? And what I would offer to that white man is, sir, it's get back time. This Black people are so great, brother, that we're not gonna wait around for y'all's reparations. That's how great we are. We've been done waiting for y'all's reparations. And it was funny to me because it's like, bro, are you really are you really the pot calling the kettle black while also trying to use oxymorons? Because that shit is that's just too confusing for my brain to even compute, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another thing. It's another thing. I want this to go on record because we do all this talking about Bronny and his dad, and he's only here because of his dad. And we're overshadowing the fact that LeBron is preparing to make history yet again. Yet again, first time in how 75 plus years of the NBA's existence, this will be the very first season where we get to see. I'm talking about actively, like if Kobe were to be able to play with his son, or if if Kobe, if 08, 09, 2010 Kobe was able to play with his son, or if the Washington Wizards Michael Jordan was able to play with his son. This is the equivalent of that, right? Yeah, of course, Bronny is not getting ready to go play with the LeBron from the Miami Heat. That's fine. We don't care about that. What we care about is the reparations that this man is going out to get and grab, and cementing his name in NBA history, which was a white fraternal order in his beginnings, and now is something that can provide Black peoples with some form of reparations. Because once one of us get drafted, and the NFL as well, once one of us get drafted, we taking care of the whole community. And that's just the way it's going to be for forever. So everybody's looking at basketball when I'm looking at like the real world society type, like how God is putting his imprint in our entertainers, and our celebrities, right? Or how God shows, I still do my thing when I do my thing. And can't nobody Can't no owner, can't nobody do nothing with Rich Paul. That's one of my niggas. That's what God said. God said that's one of my niggas. Right. Y'all thought the white boys were gonna run it for forever with the agents and the conspiracies and the owners. Nah. I put a little chocolate chip in there and shake some shit up.
Shouts out to Rich Paul, man. Shouts out to Rich Paul.
They making history, bro. And those are black men. And I don't give a damn about those skill set. I know we're supposed to care about it. I know we are supposed to care about it. But my people have gone through what they've gone through for so long. I don't give a shit. Give that man and his son their money. Stop crying. We're gonna watch them play basketball because they don't do nothing else but play basketball. They're not politicians,
Have
right?
you, forgive me for cutting you off, bro. Have you had the chance to watch him much in Summer League?
Yeah, a little bit.
What have you like made of his struggles so far in Summer League?
I think summer league is where you work all that out. I think that's where you kind of get the feel for how faster the pros is, and so I think it's like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Bronny is never. We ain't never looked at Bronny and said that that's a generational talent. You know what I'm saying? He's really good at the X's and O's. You know what I'm saying? His IQ is there. It's just it's a different game. We're on a different level. And those, just like Caitlin Clark, just like Angel Reese, I feel like Angel Reese to a sense, they're gonna show you what this game is about. Yeah, that was cute. Everything that you did before you became a part of this organization. But now this is where the big dogs play. Right? And everybody else is trying to show that they are better than you, bro. So it is what it is. But I feel like under the tutelage of his own brother, I mean, on Lord, his own brother, his own father, I don't see how I just don't see how he doesn't succeed. Even if it's gonna be a role player, even if it's him being a role player, I don't see how he succeeds. And I know it kind of cheapens the story that LeBron's son is not gonna be as great as LeBron, but again, I don't care. I don't care, man. My man is already making history by
It's
being able
big.
to
It's
play with the son.
yeah, man. I think people should just, as much as you want to, like Bronny James to be as great as his dad, you have to keep things in its proper perspective. He's a second round pick, regardless if he's a 55th pick or 37th pick. He's a second round draft pick, and when you have a second round draft pick, you if you let's put it in context like this, right? If you are a Lakers fan, which you are, but not I'm not speaking to you, just Laker fans in general. First question is, hey Laker fans, do y'all expect to come into this season competing for a championship? 90% of Laker fans will say, yes, we expect to win the championship. If that's the case, realistically, what championship contending team do you know comes into the season trying to compete for a championship, expecting to have some groundbreaking impact from a second round draft pick? And so it's just like, when you put it into that context, it's just like
Well,
you could try to berate Bronny, troll him, again, say he don't belong because he's struggling and he's shooting bad and he ain't caught a rhythm and like all these things. But the fact of the matter is, most second round draft picks, and I get it. I get the proper context is this isn't your average second round draft pick when technically it is when you look at his numbers, but every second round draft pick ain't LeBron James's son. So I understand that context out there for those who, feel some type of way about it. But it's just like, bro, like Bronny James, he unfortunately for those who want to troll, he truly, truly has no pressure to perform. Now, we on the outside could look and critique his game behind closed doors and be like, I see this, I see that. Like when I watch him play, yes, he's struggling, but I don't feel like he's comfortable on the court, so to speak. Like I don't, some may write it off as like, he's playing the game the right way. He's not forcing. Somebody asked him a question. I think it's like NBA Rapid Fire on their social media. It was like, hey, Bronny, would you rather have the game-winning shot or the game-winning block? Bronny said he'd rather have the game-winning block. To me, that told me all I needed to know about him, just in terms of just like, yo, like he just wants to hoop and like be able to affect, like he's not sold on feeling like I have to make my value or my impact on being able to, you know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't come across as like he's gonna hang his hat as a basketball player on to being able to score the basketball. Right. And that's what we like. That's what the casual fan wants to see. Not everybody can appreciate and respect the intricacies of a full complete basketball player who could do a little bit of everything. Or even if you can't do a little bit of everything, they can appreciate a player who could do one thing great. So JJ Redick been a new head coach. He talked about, the Lakers having a developmental program and Bronny being like the centerpiece of that developmental program. May spend a little time in the G League. May see him here and there doing blowouts throughout the regular season. But like Bronny is not going to have no impact on the Lakers this upcoming season, none whatsoever. Me personally, if I could be in the building, like I hope we get to see. I would like for Bronny's first basket to be off an assist from LeBron in the crypto arena. To me, like I feel like that would be a perfect season. Like Bronny gets his first bucket assisted by his dad. We've lived to see like this happen, and it may not happen ever again. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, man. I think Bronny. I don't know if he will ever get a. I don't know if he'll ever, in terms of like this up and coming season. Because I think summer league about to wrap up shortly. Like I said, he doesn't look completely settled in and comfortable yet. Like just from eye test when I'm out there watching him play. One and two, I don't know what that. I don't know what moment will occur for him to be able to like finally like calm and settle in and be like, all right, I'm here. I ain't worried about the outside noise. Like I'm here in the league. Like let me like now get in my rhythm, catch a rhythm, and get in my groove of like doing something I've always been trying to do or I have done. And so I don't know how long it'll be before he catches that moment to be able to get into like a settled in groove of being able to play in the NBA. So yeah.
I think his daddy gonna be there as long as he need him to before he don't need him. Within 3 years, no more than 3 years to me.
I mean, yeah, that's a question too, man. How long is LeBron gonna last? Does LeBron stick around to, help Bronny to a certain degree? But I mean, we could argue too that like maybe that's what it is. Like maybe like that attention from like LeBron is like he don't need, like maybe he does better, which sounds crazy. He does better on another team without his dad. But understanding the circumstances, the heart condition, you coming from a different school, you coming from school, didn't play that much. Again, the heart condition. This is a weak draft class, so you take your chance to leave now as opposed to staying in college. You've been developing under your dad all this time. Like, this is the perfect situation for Bronny. Like, I can't think or create another better situation for Bronny, considering right now he's looked at to be undersized, and you hoping he pans out as a 3-and-D type of guy. Um, I know Bryce. Somebody asked Bryce, was like, "Oh, you think your dad gonna like stick around for you?" And Bryce was like, "No, like dude pushing 40, like he not even put like he almost dead. It's like my dad is not gonna be sticking around for me to like make it to the league." And I think Bryce may be, I don't know what, maybe a junior if I'm not mistaken, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Yeah, let's do it. So by the time y'all hear this, the WNBA first half of the season will be through. The ladies will be getting ready for the Olympics. The WNBA will be taking a month off, and games won't start back up until like a month from like around this time, like middle of August. Sedacious right now. And let me just say this too, before we go into the Rookie of the Year conversation. I respect everybody who's been playing great this year in the WNBA. I respect all y'all immensely. We have the EMAX stats report, for y'all to go back and look at, me giving players their flowers and their just due. But the MVP race is not close. It goes to Asia Wilson, hands down. That's of no discussion. I need to go back and see if there's ever been a unanimous MVP in the WNBA, and if it hasn't prior to, I think this would and should be the year that we see our first WNBA unanimous MVP. If it hasn't already happened, I would have to go double check to see if it has happened before in the past. But if it hasn't, it should be this year where it's the first time we see that. And that is no slight to how great other players around the league been playing. What Asia Wilson has been doing, like nobody's in her stratosphere with the way she's been balling and competing. So let's just get that out the way in terms of MVP of the WNBA. If you had MVP of the first half of the season, and most likely should get it as the season unfolds, barring injury and other things like that, as long as she continues to play the way she's been playing. That out the way. I don't know if it's. I believe WNBA has a most improved player of the year. I would definitely. I want to get at the Kennedy Carter from the Chicago Sky. Been playing lights out. A lot of people tried to disrespect her game and talk about her crazy when she got into it with Caitlin Clark, saying, hey, like, why are you in the league? Like, we wouldn't have known about you if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. You just out there to hack. And since she's been put in the starting lineup for the Chicago Sky, shout out to Teresa Weatherspoon, Teaspoon. Shout out to her. I would. Coach of the Year, I may give it to Teaspoon. I may give Coach of the Year to Teaspoon. However, I can't think of her name right now, but head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, she deserves some consideration too for Coach of the Year. But yeah. All right, Rookie of the Year. Shout out to all you rookies who've been playing great. Rakia Jackson, salute to you. Unfortunate, Cameron Brink, she got hurt. You know, Aaliyah Edwards, you've been doing your thing in Washington. Other rookies, haven't really got, great minutes, but rookies have definitely shown that they belong in the league and they'll be in the league for, quite some time. But shout out to you, rookies. But let's just keep it real and be honest about the situation, okay? The rookie of the year is between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That's what it is, okay? Sedacious, why? Well, who is your rookie of the year this first half of the season and why?
I still think it's a toss-up. I still think it's a toss-up. I haven't seen anything definitively and consistent enough from both candidates to say that one is running away more than the other. I would like to answer with my biasness, but I can't. I just can't. I feel like there is a little bit of argument still to be made. And since I feel that way, I have to say it's still kind of a toss-up. That's it. I digress.
Where does your bias lie? For the people who don't know, where does your bias lie?
Come on, man. I don't know her middle name, but Caitlin, insert here, Clark.
Okay. So we talked about earlier in the show who has the more cult like following, or like, who is, has the bigger fan base. And the tough thing about these conversations is, well, what this is what I've seen. What I've seen is, in order to make cases for Caitlyn, people tear Angel down. Vice versa, to make a case for Angel, people tear Caitlyn down. Um, for me, if I had to choose today, who I would choose to be my MVP? Excuse me, my rookie of the year. Sorry, ladies, not Candace Parker, but I would choose Caitlin Clark. Here's why. I believe Caitlin Clark has exceeded the expectations that was placed upon her as she's came into the league as the #1 overall draft pick. Um, Caitlin Clark is leading the league in assists, and we could tell the full story on that. She's also leads the league in turnovers. That, unfortunately, one comes with the territory of her being a primary ball handler for her team. That also comes with the unfortunate of her not having full chemistry with her teammates and them fumbling passes, because we can't make a highlight reel for Caitlin Clark putting it between the numbers and her teammates tricking off her passes, and that playing a part in her turnovers, right? But apart from that, Caitlyn's averaging 16. Caitlyn averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. And it's arguable, it's debatable. I want to say the Indiana Fever were like the very first team to reach like 10 or 11 games this season. They put Caitlin Clark through a gauntlet fire to start off the WNBA season. Obviously, to sell tickets, obviously to have her on ESPN, ABC, numerous amounts of time. She's had to go against the top teams to start off the season, start off the first half of the season. We talking the Liberty, Connecticut, the Aces, Seattle. Like, she's had to go through like the top teams as a rookie. She's had to go through this gauntlet fire, and she's come out on top of it, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 8 assists, exceeding expectations. And also too, she has her team in the playoffs right now. Originally with this conversation about who's going to win the Rookie of the Year, I felt like because Angel Reese was, coming on strong with her streak of double doubles, I felt like, all right, this this Rookie of the Year is likely going to go to who gets their team in the playoffs, because getting your team in the playoffs would lend itself to, hey, your impact is affecting winning. Your numbers reflect winning because you got your team into the playoffs. Where it stands today, you have both. If the playoffs were to start today, you have both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have their teams in the playoffs, right? So it's just like, well, how are you going to split the hairs if both players got their teams in the playoffs? The Indiana Fever are a 7 seed compared to a team who didn't make the playoffs last year. The Chicago Sky, they're an 8 seed. So if you had to pick today, Caitlin Clark has her team at a higher seed than the Chicago Sky. Then Angel Reese has her team at 8. Obviously Caitlin Clark's a point guard and Angel Reese is a center. But if you want to take the head-to-head matchup, the Fever have beaten the Chicago Sky 2 out of 3 times this season. And then also too, Caitlin Clark, first rookie in WNBA history to have a triple double. People, right? Tell the full story. People are going to combat her triple double and say, "Hey, but she lost. What does her triple double matter? Because she lost." Well, hey, like, um, just so you know, Angel Reese is not triple double. Angel Reese's double double streak of 15 straight double doubles. That's coming to losing effort. Out of those 15 straight double doubles, Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are 6-9. So the double doubles are great. It does speak to Angel Reese's ability to, be effective down there in the paint, rebound at a high level. But it doesn't. It hasn't. It has translated to winning in terms of them being in the AC. But throughout the stretch of that streak, it's not like it was like a winning record that came out of that streak, right? So I just say that to combat anybody that would try to, denounce what Caitlin did. Even if you try to denounce what Angel Reese did. I mean, if you want to say her triple doubles, her double doubles came at a losing effort. You could say, hey, well, Caitlin Clark, her triple double was in a losing effort. But again, I don't want to get into trying to talk down on either one to build the other person up. All of that considered, that would be my case as to why I would give it to Caitlin Clark. I believe she's had to go through tougher competition from the very beginning. She's been put under the fire and the pressure, triple team, double team from full court. Um, uh, and had a tougher time having to, be defended and guarded compared to Angel Reese. And despite how difficult we've seen it to be, how physical we've seen it to be on Caitlin Clark, she's exceeded expectations. She hasn't folded in any way, shape, or form. And one could argue if it wasn't for this streak, a lot of people wouldn't try to give credence to what Angel Reese has done. Me personally, I feel like Caitlin Clark has been consistent throughout this from the start. All things considered, she's been consistent from the very start up until now. Granted, she may not have a hot streak, but she's been consistent. Nonetheless, she has been absolutely 1010% consistent from the very start of this season up until now. Having her team in a higher rank playoff seeding, the whole nine, and showing to have gotten better over time is why I would give her the rookie of the year. But I don't say that in any slight to say it's not even close. I don't say that in any slight to be like Angel Reese isn't even should not be in the conversation. What Angel Reese has done has been great. I wonder if she will go on another tear of a streak this upcoming in the second half of the season. As we're speaking right now, Chicago Sky up over the Aces 25-12 after the first quarter, but that is definitely fool's gold because I've seen the Aces all season long coast in the first quarter, then put their foot on the gas in the third quarter, something like the Golden State Warriors used to do. But yeah, man, Angel Reese leading the league in rebounding on top of, the streak that she had with 15 straight double-doubles. That's nothing to undermine. She also has played a pivotal role in that team alongside Kennedy Carter and the Chicago Sky being in a playoff spot right now with the 8th seed. But it's not higher ranked than, it's not higher ranked than where Caitlin and the Fever are. And another thing too is Caitlin Clark has the ability to kill you in a multitude of ways. Caitlin Clark's shot can be falling and she still kill you with her playmaking. That's not talked about enough. It's not as sexy, I get it, but her playmaking ability is what I believe to make her truly an assassin truly makes her to be a truly talented all-around player is her playmaking ability. And so she's a constant generator of points, whether that's her shot, her getting to the basket, or whether that's her creating for others. So yeah. But again, salute to Angel Reese, and what she's done is definitely close. She's definitely within worthy consideration. Um, and she could go on another run, could go on another tear. Definitely a neck and neck, a respectable neck and neck conversation and debate. But I give Caitlin Clark the photo finish coming across the line to win that Rookie of the Year award if you had to choose today. Sorry, I kind of like went ISO for a second.
Oh no, you good, you good. They needed to hear it.
Yeah, man. To wrap up the show, the old judge, a new judge got assigned to the YSL case. We told y'all last episode, before last episode, maybe we told y'all a week or two ago, Young Thug was coming home. And shout out to everybody who gave us a lot of love on that conversation. It was in the comments. But with the YSL case being assigned a new judge, Sedacious, do you believe this works in the favor of Young Thug, or do you think this isn't a good thing for Young Thug?
I believe it should. I believe it should. Who knows with the system? I can't really call it. You can't really depend on anything with the system. That's how I feel. But I feel that the case should have already just been dismissed. If the judge has been seen to have been in some type of foul play, then no, don't recuse him. Recuse this whole thing because it's all crooked and we've been knew that, right? So since y'all can't keep the holes on y'all crookedness, let us go when it's shown. So no, I don't know. This new judge could be worse. And that's just the system as well. But we're gonna pray not and hope for the best. And hopefully he come home because his lawyer badass. My boy badass. And hey, that's just the way of the game. It's the way of the game. I'm not gonna say free Thug because it's still a trial, right? But once they decide he's either guilty or not guilty, then that's when I'll stand on what I stand on. We don't know. We don't know because the courts ain't told us nothing yet. They haven't. There's been no verdict, so we just gotta keep hoping and praying.
No, man. Right on. Beautiful people. This is what you call a great episode, man. Again, prayers out to everybody out there in Houston still going through it in the aftermath of the hurricane. Please make sure you follow me at EMAXX, my brother at I Am Sedacious, as well as our other two brothers at Shineheart Izzo and at Black Peace. All that definitely in the description for y'all. But yeah, man, we don't take y'all listening to us for granted. And I hope that we're getting y'all through the summertime with a slight dip in our sports world, with us only not having as many, football and not being here yet, and basketball, the NBA dying down. Yeah, man, we're gonna keep y'all plugged in with the WNBA, showing love to the Olympics as well. And yeah, man, real quick, Dacious, Klay Thompson to the Dallas Mavericks. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't think it works. I don't think the rotation works. I mean, well, it'll work if Klay is ready to finally just be a role player. If he's ready to not be as essential to the system and be essential to the system by just being a role player and not like a key ball handler, then yeah, it could work. But just from the way the Golden State played and try to transition that game to Dallas, with Luka needing to have the ball or Kyrie needing to have the ball. Luka being a playmaker, but Kyrie being more of a scorer and your point guard. I guess I'll have to trust Jason Kidd and his schematics. But for right now, just the way the pieces of the puzzle look, I look like this puzzle comes out to be a painting. I think some pieces might not fit or come from another puzzle, and they just not gonna work with this one.
Klay has made claims that he could still be an elite player. Me personally, I feel like had he stayed with the Warriors, he could have been a marksman coming off the bench where his sole responsibility was to come off the bench and score and just strictly focus on shooting. That's what I meant on like a previous upload when the caption is like Klay should come off the bench. That's what I meant in context, but I put it out after the fact after Klay signed, so a lot of people probably thought that I was crazy, like what? But
off the bench,
right? But you know, that's how I felt had he stayed in Golden State. Him leaving, going to Dallas. I have some opinions about it where I don't necessarily believe it's going to be favorable for Klay, but I don't want to just come on here and spewing off. I want to see if how I feel the data supports what I think is in store for Klay Thompson being in Dallas, man. But that does it, beautiful people. Thank y'all for tuning in this week, and make sure y'all come back. Thank you so much for engaging with our content, bro. Y'all been giving us some real like heartfelt messages, bro, in the comments, and it is 1010% not taken for granted. Like I don't say that just to say it. I truly mean that. And I know starting off, I used to think some of the comments were bots, but nah, man. Yeah, shout out to at EV Dogazz, EVDOGAZZ. Says y'all are the most intelligent people speaking on Young Thug case. Big ups to y'all. Real podcast, professional conversation. Then we got Moses Green. Moses Green. Just wanted to give y'all flowers. Love seeing Black men come together and be productive. Something that seems so simple is so big of a positive representation for our community, especially how things are in some cities with Black on Black crime. I appreciate you guys. Love. Yeah, man. We don't take those comments like that for granted, man. We truly appreciate them. We're not too big to like not see stuff or not appreciate stuff like that, man. So keep them coming. It definitely adds fuel for us to keep going on days even when we don't feel like it. Love you, beautiful people. We will see you next week.